All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is out with the old and in with the new. You can see this totally redesigned look at the Joker in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and I'm very curious to know in the comments below what you guys think about this new look. I'll give you my thoughts on this, and also my thoughts on how the Joker should have been included in this film. I'm going to explain now in the next little bit how he actually is going to be included and what his scene or scenes in the movie are going to be. But before we get into that, if you enjoyed the video at any point, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell. It would be greatly appreciated. Okay, let's delve right into it and break down exactly what is going on here, because like I mentioned, this guy is totally different from this guy. I mean, the disparity is incredible. So we're going to read now from Vanity Fair. Actually, we'll read through this Twitter thread first, because this is a great sort of encapsulation of everything, and then the Vanity Fair Twitter thread goes a little bit deeper. Okay, so Walt from Twitter says, for those of you who are wondering why Joker looks so different in Zack Snyder's Justice League, this Joker is the Nightmare Timeline Joker, a feature where Darkseid kills everyone, rules Earth with evil Superman, and the world is in an apocalyptic ruin. Batman needs his help to stop Darkseid. Of course, we remember the Nightfall flashback scene in Batman v Superman, and at the end of that scene, actually the Flash comes and talks to Bruce, and there's a sort of vague exchange, and we don't know what ever happened with that, because in the theatrical cut of Justice League, that explanation or payoff was not there. The whole idea with BVS is that payoff of what was that whole flashback scene about? What was the Flash showing up about? Like, what was the point of all that? We were going to get that explanation in Justice League. Then we got Justice League. There was nothing in there. It was this crappy Marvel movie, basically. Joss Whedon just turned it into a crappy Marvel movie. And then now we get Zack Snyder to fulfill his vision. So I'm very excited to see that. Although I do want to be very upfront with you about the role that the Joker is going to have in this movie. When I first saw this, like everybody else, I was incredibly excited. I thought, oh my God, he's actually going to have a plot. I wanted to see flashback scenes that were set up in the Batman v Superman film, where, of course, Batman looks up at the dead Robin suit. And, I want to see what happened with that and see why this universe's Batman is so disgruntled and so pissed off. But unfortunately, we're not going to get a lot of that. We are going to get Jared Leto in the Nightmare sort of Nightfall universe. So reading more here, this is the future that we saw during BVS, where Batman saw an evil Superman. Zack Snyder's Justice League will continue that story and show us what will happen when Darkseid eventually arrives in the next Justice League. It will feature Batman, evil Superman, Darkseid, and by the way, we saw evil Superman in BVS too. Darkseid, Joker, Deathstroke, Cyborg, The Flash, and others. So we also saw The Flash. So the new ones that are being added here that we did not see in the first Nightfall flashback scene would be Cyborg, The Flash. Oh, no, we did see The Flash. I'm sorry. Cyborg, Deathstroke, and Darkseid. We didn't really see Darkseid. I mean, there's kind of like allusions to him, but not directly and outright. So kind of reinforcing that once again, we can look at this image. Not a fan of the long hair. It's very visibly fake. I understand, once again, this is the Nightmare Joker universe. So this Joker is completely different from this guy. And insofar as it's the same person, but they're in different timelines. So obviously they look completely differently and act differently, and their origins are different as well. Besides the long hair, I actually quite dig the look, if I'm being completely honest with you. That looks really good. That kind of reminds me of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker for some reason. But, and this also looks great. I like the idea of the sort of nightmare. Basically what I'm saying is I like everything about this look except the long hair. For whatever reason, it doesn't really mesh with me. He kind of looks like a chick. I think it's weird. Okay, so anyway, we're not going to read everything up here. They sort of recap the Jared Leto thing. HBO Max offered Jared Leto an option to finalize his own cut of the movie. The director had a few things that he wanted to do with the Snyder Cut, blah, blah, blah. So they're just setting up basically the background for that. Now, here are the details of what actually happens here, and they do give you a spoiler warning. Spoiler warning, Joker appears in the new film during a sequence set on ruined Earth after the alien tyrant Darkseid invades and decimates the planet. It's a dream sequence, more like a nightmare sequence, a psychic vision experienced by Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne that reveals what will happen if the superheroes fail to stop the onslaught and therefore come together in Justice League. See, this is the whole point. I mean, this is supposed to be early on in the movie, and it's not even in the theatrical cut of Justice League. The Joker is sort of the ghost of Christmas yet to come, supplying motivation through terror. The cool thing about the scene, says Zack Snyder, is that it's the Joker talking directly to Batman about Batman, Snyder says. It's Joker analyzing Batman about who he is and what he is. That's the thing I also felt like the fans deserve from the DC universe. That is to say, the Jared Leto Joker and the Ben Affleck Batman, they never really got together. It seemed uncool to me that we would make it all the way through this incarnation of Batman and the Joker without seeing them together. And yes, as great as this sounds, they're not really going to be together for that long. This is very much so going to be a very brief scene. Snyder already had a history devised in his head. The scene explains why Bruce had the Joker card taped to his gun that you see in Batman v Superman. That's interesting. I didn't know that. The director says of his 2016 film, which also hinted that the Joker murdered the Cape Crusader's sidekick, the absent Romer's armor spray painted with haha jokes on you, Batman. By the way, in this universe, the Robin that is killed is not the Jason Todd Joker or Robin. It is the Dick Grayson Robin is the Robin that is killed in the Snyderverse. That is something important to remember. So Dick Grayson is dead in the DCEU and the Joker killed him. But it's this Joker. So anyway, I'd always wanted to explore the death of Robin, Snyder said, and if there was ever going to be a next movie, which of course there probably won't be, I wanted to do a thing where in the flashbacks we learn how Robin died. Oh my God, he just said it. Okay, that's literally what I wanted this scene to be. I wanted this scene to be, with the Joker and Robin and Batman, those flashbacks to his Batman's golden age where he's with Robin, he's with Batgirl, whatever, and then Joker kills Robin. And this is Dick Grayson Robin, so this is earlier in Bruce Wayne's career than in the existing DC canon. And this is the biggest problem with Zack Snyder, by the way. Not to say anything negative about him as a person or whatever. It's just as a filmmaker, he plays the long game way too much. And what he did in Justice League is he said, okay, we'll include Steppenwolf as the main villain. And then we'll set up a teaser at the end that Darkseid will come in. And he's hoping that he's going to get all of these movies in the future that he's now not going to get. So now it makes it so that, this whole universe that he's built, it's kind of like a tease for what is the big payoff, and we're just never going to get the payoff. Now, not to say there's not going to be any payoff in this movie, because we are going to get the payoff on what the Nightfall scene is. But the reality of it is, we didn't actually get any explanation of what happened to this universe's Robin, how he died, what happened with Batman and the Joker, their prior encounter, interactions, and exchanges. We're never going to get any of that because his whole thing was, and same thing with Darkseid. I mean, we're getting Darkseid now in this movie, which wasn't even a guarantee in the first place. Without the Snyder Cut, we would have never gotten Darkseid. We would have never seen Darkseid on the big screen because it's like, oh, we'll do Steppenwolf now. And then he's saying, oh, well, we'll do this Joker scene and the Nightfall scene. And then in the next movie, we'll do the Robin flashback scene. And it's like, no, how about we get all of the good shit first before there's any guarantee that, you might not get your movie. And then we're screwed because then we don't get what we wanted to see and you don't get to do what you wanted to do. So I think that was the biggest flaw of the DCEU. I'd always wanted to explore the death of Robin. Okay, I already read that. The director's plan was to show how they became like this, how he hurt him in a way that no one has really. Other than losing his parents, it was probably the most significant personal injury to his life. And that's all fine and well, but then in BVS, when you're watching BVS and he's so full of rage and angry, the only reason that we get explained why Batman is murking people and calling in bombing runs and strafing runs, blowing people up, which we don't typically see Batman do in the comic books. In some movies, of course we do, but those are not, comics accurate. But for those of you that followed the Batman canon, you know that Batman doesn't kill and hasn't since a editor at DC Comics decided that he doesn't in 1941. So since 1941 in the main Batman DC Comics canon, excluding Elseworld stories, Batman does not kill. Now, why is Batman just murking people in this movie? Well, his thought is, I'm not going to explain in Justice League. I'm going to explain in the movie after Justice League. But for BVS to kind of, have that emotional payoff, I think that they needed this Joker flashback scene that he mentions with Joker and Robin dying. It would have been great if when Bruce is looking up at the Robin statue, or not statue, but, the Robin suit, it immediately cuts to a flashback wherein he is then exploring and reliving that moment. That would have been incredibly powerful and impactful, but instead we're just never going to see that scene, which is very unfortunate. That's the role this new Joker sequence will fulfill in Justice League, but those seeking continuity may have questions. What happened since we last saw the Joker in Ayer's film? Is there tattoo removal in the apocalypse? I would say that there's been some water under the bridge. Who knows what happened, Snyder said. I don't know if he's wearing makeup. I don't know what's happening. It's hard to say exactly. Okay, so this is Zack Snyder saying like all of these questions that we have about what the hell is going on in this scene, he's kind of saying that he hasn't really thought about it. Like, he doesn't have an answer. It's very ambiguous, and it's not going to be explained. So, you know, what happened with this, you know, in Suicide Squad? Why does he look totally different? Where's the tattoos? Where's this? And he says, who knows what happened? I don't know. So he doesn't even know if the character that he wrote is wearing makeup. I'm not saying this is something negative to Doc from Snyder, but when you're watching this movie, don't go in with the explanation that Zack Snyder is going to explain to you what's going on, because he doesn't know either. That's the whole point, is that it's ambiguous and it's not meant to explain anything. You just watch the scene and it's inherently ambiguous, and you'll probably leave the scene with more questions about the relationship between Batman and the Joker in this universe than answers. And that's just the way the scene is designed. You can interpret that to mean Snyder just liked it better this way. His version of Justice League will exist on its own, making use of some material from other DC movies, but standing alone as an Elseworlds tale. As Joker might advise, just roll with the chaos. Joker could even say, you know, I like my past or existence to be multiple choice. So, you know, overall, like I said, I really dig this look. I think that it's honestly better than this look on the whole. You know, the grill is pretty silly. That's not very good. And then the damage tattoo is really not good. So I like everything about this. The no damage tattoo, I liked. This part is really good. The only thing I don't like is the hair. I'd just give him a more typical Joker haircut. And I'm fine with him looking this intense and angry and not having that smile, you know, whatever. I think that this is great once you can't see all of the hair. Not a fan of this, you know, this is just a stereotypically like female hair. It looks a little bit like a mismatch for the Joker, in my personal opinion. But it kind of works. You know, I'm sure it works for what he's going for, so we'll just have to wait and see. I like the Joker card. Very good. So yeah, this is going to be, I think, what we could probably classify as more of a cameo than anything else. There's nothing wrong with that, but I just, you know, just so everybody knows what we're getting into, if you're expecting, you know, the Joker to have some massive role. Now, of course, there's the possibility that Zack is misleading us about the extent to which Jared Leto is in the movie, which I would be happy to see. I want to see more of his Joker. And then I wonder, is this scene going to make us more interested to see more of the Joker? If Zack Snyder crafted the scene effectively, that will be the end result, is that we're feeling like, damn, we didn't get enough of Jared Leto's Joker. We didn't get enough of him outside of Suicide Squad, where he's in the film for 11 minutes and 30 seconds, you know? And that's how I feel. So I'd love to see more of him. I wish that it was going to be more than a couple minutes in this movie. I wish it could have been 30 minutes where he could get flashback scenes and all the other things that he was talking about that he wanted to do in the future. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that. And I know I'll get dislike bombed for saying anything remotely negative about Zack Snyder or saying that he's not our perfect god and hero. But, you know, you come to this channel for my opinion. These are my honest opinions. You know, if I were in charge of it, I would have done it much differently and front-loaded some of those great comic book moments in BVS. And I'm fine with the no payoff with the Nightfall Protocol. It's just the Joker payoff had to be way earlier, because now we're really never going to get it, which is unfortunate. But I'm very much so looking forward to this Nightfall timeline being explained more thoroughly and getting to see all of the other people that are going to be in it. Batman, Evil Superman, Darkseid, Deathstroke, Cyborg. All that is going to be fantastic, and can't wait to see that. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Thank you, Uber Kryptonian, for the great explanation here, and also to Vanity Fair for providing the backstory here for this. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.